Hi everyone, so in the last video I showed you how to cut all the pieces that you're making down to a good size. In this video I'm going to show you how to assemble the arms and the angled legs that we cut. So if you look at the plan I've sent out, this is step one after cutting. So what we're going to do is we're going to assemble these two sides of this video here. Now it's very important that when you're looking at this, you'll notice that these are not the same. They're mirror images of each other. So this angle piece here and this angle piece here are not on the same side of a board, they're flip sides. So if you look at the next page, you'll see that one is on the outside here and one is on the outside there. It's a very important distinction to make. Pretty much, if you don't get that right, then you won't get any of it right. So what we're going to do first is we're going to attach the arm to the leg and the arm to the leg. I'm going to set this aside. We're going to use a drill. We're going to use a driver. Do we need a tape measure? No, we do not. Do we need a pencil? No. Do we need our angle block? No, we do not. We do need 1, 2, 3, and 4. We need 4 2.5-inch screws, and that's it. Not much to it. Here's our leg. Here's our leg. Looks pretty good. We're going to take it and our arm piece, and we're going to take a look at our plan and double check that the arm goes over top of the leg, not the other way around, so we don't mix that up. First thing we want to do is we want to pre-drill so we don't split the wood. We're going to take our drill. We're going to, with the 1/8" drill bit, we're going to drill right around the center, about 1/3 of the way down. And you see that there's a nice hole there, and there's a nice pre-drilled hole right there as well. The point of the pre-drill so it doesn't split the wood, and we're not, usually when I do this, I'm in the shop, and I would use a tape measure, and I would use a square, and I would line up the screws perfectly. But this project is designed so you can do it at home with very minimal tools. So I've pre-drilled this first screw. I'm going to attach it. Take a look. Okay, it's in there. It's nice and flush. Flush means that it's not sticking out from the top. So I got one. Now I'm going to line up the second one. Grab my drill. I have 2 holes. It's much easier to handle these guys if you are doing them one at a time instead of trying to pre-drill everything while it's all loose. There's one. So this is one arm and leg together. I'll build the other one now. This isn't the mirror image stuff. This isn't the super complicated part. Just got to make sure that everything is nice and flush and pretty. So those of you who are paying attention will realize that right off the hop, the thing I said not to do, I did. I mixed up how these things are ordered. The arm is meant to be over the leg, and I have the leg over the arm here. So, not a big deal. All I have to do is pull my screws out. Slip it underneath like this. I'm going to flip the arm end for end so the screw holes are not seen from the front. Now I'm going to flip the leg as well. And all we got to do is drive it together. And see, it's okay if you screw up as long as you fix your mistakes. Nobody's looking at the process, they're just looking at the final result. We have our two arms and legs together. And we're going to set one aside. And we are going to attach this. And it's going to go right like that at a certain measurement. What's that measurement, you say? Good thing we got it written down. If you look right here, we see 13 3/4 from the bottom to the top of that. So what that means is going to be 13 3/4 from this bottom right here to where the top of this meets. Grab my tape measure. I'm going to measure 13 3/4. Is that what it was? Yes. 13 3/4. And this is when you're going to find out if you made your angles good. Make a little mark. That looks excellent. And you need to attach it right here. So there's a couple ways you can do that. You can hold it up in the air like that, or what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip this over like so. I've brought my line over to the inside here. I'm going to lay it down flat on the table. That way, I don't have to hold anything up in the air while this is going. So I'm going to line it up. Take my drill. Drive on a bit of an angle. If you're having trouble getting the drill to go in nicely against the table, you can hang it off the edge of your workbench. 2 more screws. Good thing I put them nice and close. Same thing as with the arms and legs. All we're going to do is one at a time. Lining everything up nicely. Okay. So, in the end, you're going to get this guy right here. Let's see if I can make this bigger. No. Nope. That's all wrong. Move down to here. There we go. So in the end, you'll see that you have, this is one side, and if you look at the little window, you'll see it's all lined up nicely. All right, I'm going to make the other side of this, and I'm going to adjust this screen a little bit so you can see it, and I'll show you how we're going to assemble these two legs together. So here we are. We've got our two mirror legs together. What we're going to start with is we are going to begin with that upper back support. If you remember, this is the part of the plan that I changed. I made it a little bit different. Originally on the plans, I had it butting in like this, but that's using a Craig jig, and I wanted to make this as simple as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our upper back support that we cut to 26.5 inches. We're going to attach it to the top of our arms here. It's going to do two things. It's going to hold the back of our project together, and it's going to support the back slats when you sit down. I'm using a clamp to attach these things. You can use a clamp or not a big deal. Get somebody to help you hold things. But since I'm all alone here, this is what I'm going to do to grab this. So I'm going to clamp this and I'm going to spin this around so your view is a little bit better. So you can see it's going to clamp on top like that. I'm going to, either you can take a long screw and put it on an angle, but what I'm going to do, because I have it, is I'm going to grab some 1¼ screws and that'll be just fine. Here we have 1¼ screws. They're going to fit nicely just like that all the way through. Even though these are smaller, we're still going to want to pre-drill. So using your clamp or your older brother or your younger brother, you're going to take the drill and pre-drill. I'm going to go up to the bottom because I don't want to see the screws. Pre-drill, screw. Again, go one at a time, so it's really good and easy. I'm going to do 3 screws, I think. You can do 4 if you want, but no less than 2. Hi, so we're back. We've installed horizontal support on the back. Now we're going to install this guy on the front. And if you cut everything right, it should fit really, really nicely. Okay? Let's look at the plans here. You'll notice that it wants it to be back from the front, and this top corner here needs to be flush with what they're calling the stringer. All right, that's super important so the boards sit nicely. So this is an important part that requires either somebody to help hold or a clamp. You're going to need somebody to help you with this step. If you're using a clamp, make sure that you don't clamp in the way of where you're going to be attaching your screws. Adjust this a little bit. So that top corner is flush. We're almost there. Use another board because I don't have a hammer. Perfect. For these screws, I'm going to be using the 2.5 screws again, 2.5 inch screws again, not the 3, not the 1¼ inch. Then pre-drill. And drive the screw in. So this by attaching this side using the clamp again and the screw and the driver, and then that is going to be this assembly. In my next video, I'm going to attach all the remaining parts, which are the bottom slats, the back supports, and the back slats. I'm just following along with the plan that I've attached at the bottom of this video. And yeah, so happy building.